Lookups in Salesforce are great for relating records in your org, but it can be time-consuming to manually relate records. With Lookup Helper, you can display related records anywhere in Salesforce automatically. You can group data by any category, such as zip code, territory, region, or account. Your users will be able to easily find relevant information as Lookup Helper leverages standard Salesforce related lists and Lookup hover over capabilities. Using Lookup Helper to relate your records can help with your account-based marketing strategy, automatically assign records like contacts to a user or queue, track open cases with an account, display grandchild records on the parent record, and more. For this demo, we'll work on creating a lookup to automatically relate leads to accounts based on their company name. First, I want to start with the options on the Lookup Helper menu. Create a new lookup. View existing lookups. Here you can view, edit, run, delete, schedule, or activate and deactivate existing lookups. Enable real time for your lookups. Health check allows you to check on Lookup Helper status, view a risk level assessment for any issues, and suggests action items to resolve any issues. View errors. See all Lookup Helper errors based on setting. It lets you know the number of occurrences and the last date the error occurred. Help and FAQ has resources like the admin guide, FAQs, troubleshooting tips, and update links. Join our Trailblazer community to share ideas, get questions answered, or help others. Use case library to get inspiration on ways to utilize Lookup Helper. And export lookup settings will allow the lookup settings to be moved from one org to another, for example, from a sandbox to production, or to provide a backup of your lookup settings. Now let's create our lookup setting. Earlier on our lead object, I created an account lookup field that I would like to automatically populate. To create the setting, go to the menu and click Create a New Lookup. Step 1, select the child object. This is the object you want to populate a lookup field on and whose items you want to see in a related list on another object. In our example, this will be leads. Step 2, select or create the lookup field to be used. We've already made our lookup field called account. Step 3, select the fields on the child and parent that you would like Lookup Helper to use to match results. Most of the time, it is preferable to match based on the record name or ID. We want the lookup field filled in when company matches the account name. Optionally, you could add a parent filter. The new parent filter feature allows users to apply additional matching criteria to the parent object. This helps narrow down the amount of matching parents, which gives the user more control. While creating or editing a setting, users can either create a new parent filter or assign a previously created parent filter. To create a new parent filter, click Add Parent Filter, give it a name, let's say, for example, you want this lookup setting to only run on prospect accounts. Choose a field on the parent object to filter on. In this case, it would be account type. The operator equals, and then the criteria is prospects. Click Submit to add the criteria to the parent filter record, and click Save to save the parent filter record. In this case, we don't want the parent filter, so I won't save it. Saved filters can be reused for any setting with the same parent object type. After the filter, there are a few more options to look at before you're finished. Configure new category records is optional. Click this button if you would like Lookup Helper to create new category records or new parent records, in this case, new accounts. Note, Lookup Helper settings cannot both create category records and have a parent filter. You must choose only one option or neither. There are some advanced setting options. Allow overwrite of existing lookup field information. This is selected by default. And allow clearing of existing lookup field information is also selected by default. Give your setting a name. And save and run your lookup. Now, when I go back to my lead, the account information is now filled in and linked. Next, I'll show you how to enable real time. If we go back to our Lookup Helper menu, click Enable Real Time. Click Select next to the object you want to enable real time for. Click on the button that says Deploy to start the real-time enablement process. The list of triggers available to deploy is based on Lookup Helper settings that you have created. If you don't see the object you would like to deploy a trigger on, verify that you have created and saved a Lookup Helper setting for that object. Out of the box, Lookup Helper comes with triggers on account, case, contact, event, task, and account for contact, a foreign key, as part of the managed package and do not have to be deployed. For Salesforce Professional Edition orgs, these triggers will work. To add any additional triggers in a Professional Edition environment, an Apex package would need to be purchased from Salesforce. Triggers can be enabled for both the child and parent objects depending on when you want the settings to fire. Finally, here are some best practices to keep in mind. When creating Lookup Helper settings, consider when you would like the records to update. When a child record is added, modified, deleted, when a parent record is added, modified, deleted, or both, and be sure to enable real time for the appropriate object. If you are creating a new lookup field from within the app during Lookup Helper setting creation, be sure to go to Setup and set field level security and adjust page layouts. When using the Create New Category Record feature, consider whether this could cause duplicate records to be created based on user input or different spellings. If you're using Lookup Helper to update an existing field that's already populated with data, consider creating a new field if there is data that you would like to retain. Use the advanced settings on the Lookup Helper settings creation. Allow overwrite of existing lookup field information can be deselected if you do not want Lookup Helper to overwrite existing data in a field. Allow clearing of existing lookup field information can be deselected if you do not want Lookup Helper to clear out a populated value if the setting does not find a match. You can download Lookup Helper from the App Exchange. The first 2 lookup settings are free, or there's a premium edition to get unlimited lookup settings. Happy trailblazing!